you know, most of you are medics and most of you are therapists. So you're working with people. And I know your intention is to help as many people as possible. And so, but all of us will have our own way of working. And what I'm saying to you is, it doesn't matter. You know, we want to you start doing hypnotherapy, you think, I've got to learn these words, I've got to learn this language patterns, I've got to learn how to hypnotize. The fact of the matter is, we're all hypnotized anyway, you know, whether it's through the TV, whether it's through our partners or whatever. But the truth is, it's not the words and the techniques as much as our intention, our expectation. And as your medics, and I'm sure some of you will have read the book Beyond Pills and Potions. In fact, the College of Medicine, that's the kind of strapline. And there's a book out. I think it's Stephen Greer. I'm not absolutely sure. I'll try and find it for
Um,
you. Someone might know the name. It's called Beyond Pills and Potions. And
yeah,
what the man's talking about in there, and which I think we all have to kind of consider, he says that we're all born with a kind of built-in survival mechanism, and that is to follow the one least uncertain. So generally, that's our mother, isn't it? You know, when we're born, because our fathers are generally off work, and that's changed a bit since I was a kid. But you know, generally, the main person when we're born and we're babies is our mother. And so to survive, whatever our mother says, we're going to take as true. You know, and so we're geared to do that, to follow the one least uncertain. But that's hardwired into us. So when we're ill or we're suffering in some way, then and we go and see a therapist, or I go and see our doctor, in that situation, the doctor or the therapist is the expert. And so whatever they say, the power of their words is immense. And because they are in that situation, the one least uncertain. And so the reason I'm saying this is because we have our doubts about our clients sometimes. Is this person bright enough to get this? Will they understand what I'm saying? You know, all of those things that go through our minds as therapists. But what we have to act, we have to hold, is being that person, the one least uncertain. The wonderful Milton Erickson, who, you know, kind of godfather of modern hypnosis, if you like, hypnotherapy. He was working with a client who had cancer of the jaw, and the guy was dying, and he was on maximum painkillers, and he didn't want to have any more morphine. He wanted to converse with his family in the few months that he had left. So, as a last resort, because he was in terrible pain, they called him Milton Erickson. And Milton, I don't know what he did. Might have been Stephen's technique, might be my technique. I don't know. But anyway, he ran what he does, what Milton Erickson does, and the guy was out of pain. And someone asked Milton Erickson after. They said, "Did you know you could do that?" And this was Milton Erickson's answer. And I think if we're in this game, if you're in any kind of medical world, I think we should write this down. If you haven't done it already, this is what he said. He said, "I had my doubts." He said, "What I had no doubt about was I could keep my doubts to myself." I'll say it again. He said, "I had my doubts. What I had no doubt about was I could keep my doubts to myself." This is so important. It's beyond the pills and the potions. Our attitude, our expectation, hope. We know this. Hope is super important when it comes to recovering from any kind of illness or problem. I read it once. It said medication might not always be necessary, but belief in a recovery is. If you do not believe you're going to recover, chances are you're not going to recover. The power of our mind over our body is immense. I'm going to show you what I mean by this quickly. Let's just let Samantha in. Now, the power of our mind over our body is absolutely immense. I want you to do this for all of you. Then join in with me. It's okay. I just want you to put your arm out at shoulder height. Put your arm out at shoulder height. And look at me in the camera and just think about the people you love, people that love you, people you've helped with your words and your kindness and your skills. And as you feel that love, as you see those faces, I want you to notice your arms hanging there all by itself. Imagine there's nothing you can do about that. And when you realize there's nothing you can do about it, I want you to try and get your arm down and find it goes even higher. And I do not want you to pretend. Try and get your arms down. Come on, you won't upset me. Push even harder. Find it goes even higher. Are you hypnotized? Are you in a trance? Why can't you get your arms down? I'm going to say the word love, and of course your arm will go down. Love. Were you hypnotized? Were you in a trance? Why couldn't you get your arms down? The power of your mind over your body is immense. You just had a small inkling of how powerful your mind is over your body. So when you're in front of your doctor, or if you are the doctor or the therapist, think about this. Think how powerful your words are. For me now, hypnosis is so easy, and it's happening all the time, as I said. We don't have to do a formal induction to hypnotize people. This is how it works. And I want you to notice this, because you're gonna use it for yourself, and you're also gonna be aware of it when people are trying to influence you. It's as simple as this. For me to give you a suggestion like I just did, and for it to bypass your critical mind where it just happens, you can't get your arm down. For that to happen, all I need to do is evoke an emotion. And for you in that moment, it was just think about the people you love. That's a big enough change in your emotional state for me to give you a suggestion. It's going to bypass any critical resistance from it. So just think about this. Let's take a normal situation. I'll say probably a very normal situation. You know, a woman's at home with her kids. She's having a really good day. The kids are enjoying life. She's enjoying life. Her husband or her partner has a bad day. He comes in and he's in a bad mood, and he says something nasty to that woman. She's gone from being really happy to being really hurt. That's the jolt in her emotional state. If his next words are, "You're a rubbish woman," or "You're a crap mother," or whatever it might be, that is no different to me saying, "Try and get your arm down and find you cannot." That's a suggestion in an emotional state. Does that make sense to everybody? And if that man does that enough times, that woman is absolutely going to believe that to be true. It's not, but that's what she's going to start to believe. And that's just one small kind of incident. Imagine what's going on in advertising. Imagine what's going on in the world at the moment, watching all this stuff in the politics at the moment. You know, how emotional are you getting? And what are the suggestions that are coming through your TV set? You know, making you think this about that person or this about that person. We don't think we're open to it. Of course we are. You know, when I see people for hypnosis now, for years, and I've been doing this for a very long time, I used to think, like most hypnotherapists would think, a person has a problem, they come in and they tell me about their problem. I then hypnotize them, and I I help them overcome their problem. That's how most hypnotherapists work. I'm going to do something to you to help you overcome that problem. I want you to start thinking this in a different way. I want you to think just for a moment about any stuck state you're in. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm never going to achieve that. It doesn't have to be a big stuck state, but it can be a small stuck state. Something you think I'd love to do that, but I'm never going to achieve it. Or if you're drinking more than you want to drink, or maybe you're smoking, maybe you're doing something that's detrimental to you, and you think you're just weak-willed. You know, I should be able to get over this, but I just can't. I want you to think of it in a different way and ask the question: when was that suggestion given to you that you can't overcome this problem? And was it from outside? Was someone else who suggested it, or was it self-suggested? Because either way, you're in a trance. And so now I look at my clients, they come in and they tell me their problem. I'm just thinking to myself, this person is in a trance. It might be a 20-year I can't quit smoking trance, or a 30-year I'm never going to lose weight trance. But either way, that belief was suggested, and they're stuck with that belief. In reality, all I have to do is hypnotize them and just suggest to them, I'm going to count to 3, and you're going to come out of that I can't get on an aeroplane trance, and I'm going to leave you in a positive Freddy trance where you can. You know, I've seen people who have had a phobia, a crippling phobia for 30 or 40 years, and people who smoke 40. In fact, I've seen people in the good old days who would smoke 80 cigarettes a day. Can you imagine that? You know, how could anyone have the time to do it? But I've seen those people, and I've had an hour with them, and within an hour, they're walking out that room, never to smoke again, without any withdrawal symptoms, without any kind of pain or stress. They walk away from it. And people say, Freddie, that's kind of magic. You know, you must be some kind of genius. How did you do that? And it's not me. It's truly not me. The fact of the matter is, if they had an hour with me and I'm talking to them and they can walk away from that drug or that problem within an hour, they've always been able to do it. Does that make sense? They must have always been able to do it because I haven't given them anything. I haven't put any pills or potions on them. I've just talked to them, and somewhere in that conversation, albeit in a in a different level of changed of state, the penny dropped, and I went, "Yes, if my child's life depended upon me quitting today, I can quit." And in that moment, they realised, of course, they can quit. And so sometimes, you know, it seems miraculous when you help people out of pain. It seems miraculous when you help someone out of a lifelong drug problem or a fear or a phobia. But the truth of the matter is, they must have always been able to do it. They just didn't know they could do it. Does this start to make sense to you, how hypnosis works? I'm saying to all of you, you know, you've just had an experience of it when I said to you, think about the people you love. And then and you gave yourself the self-suggestion, "I can't move my arm." And the moment you said that, of course, you can't move. That's no different. That's just a stuck state. So I want you to think about this today because we're going to help you out of any pain you're in. But I want you to think about this. When we finish here, write down 4 or 5 things you'd love to achieve, whatever it is, a physical goal, spiritual goal, emotional goal, uh, you know, career goal, financial goal, whatever it is, but in like sound bites, not a whole paragraph of what you want to achieve, but sound bites. I want to be 9 stone. I want to be fit and well. I'd like to be successful. Whatever it is, but one suggestion, like a direct suggestion to yourself. And then knowing what you now know about the power of emotion and about suggestion, whenever someone changes your state, someone makes you angry. Yeah, but I'm going to be 9 stone. You know, someone frustrates you. Yeah, but I'm gonna have the career I want. You know, not to say out loud, you can if you want, but you're going to give yourself that suggestion the moment that you realise that your state has been changed. This you don't have to sit in a dark corner to do self hypnosis. Once you understand this one bit of information, you can be doing this all day long. Someone makes you smile. Give yourself a suggestion that you're going to succeed at what you're doing. Someone frustrates you. Someone makes you angry. Someone hurts you. These are opportunities. Now you know the power of emotion to give yourself a suggestion. You know, this is how we upgrade our brain. You know, I came up with a technique a while back. I call it the blink and delete technique. And while we're on the subject of self-hypnosis, I might also show you how to do this. And again, it's very simple because most of the things I do is simple because I'm a simple person. But this is a very simple technique. And this comes from, you know, it's a belief of mine that as human beings, we're geared to thrive. You know, we're like plants. If you put a plant in the right soil and you kind of shelter it for a little while and you give it the right nutrition and the right amount of water and till it's grown and it's strong, it's going to thrive. And we're the same. Given the right opportunity, we're going to thrive. And I believe that we are always making the best decisions we can for ourselves. Very few of us, I don't think anyone goes out and thinks, I'm going to make a really bad decision just to ruin my life. We don't do it, okay? But we're making decisions every single day. Most of them are very small. Should I have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee? Should I turn left or right? But we're making decisions in every moment. But sometimes they're big decisions. Should I go out with this man? Should I marry this woman? You know, there are big decisions we make. But most of those decisions, if you think about them, are made in an emotional state. And when we're emotional, we're not functioning optimally. You're not functioning optimally when you're angry. I coached boxing for some years. I used to say to my guys, the worst thing that can happen in that boxing ring is that you're going to get angry. And your opponent's going to try and make you angry. They're going to call your mother names. They're going to call your partner names. They're going to call you names. They're going to say whatever to try and wind you up. Because they know if you're angry, you are not functioning optimally. All the training goes out the window. And you start fighting instead of boxing. And they want you to do that. You know, we're not functioning when we're angry. My son cringes when I say it, but I say you should never decide to get married when you're madly in love with someone. That's not the time to make that decision. When you can't wait to get to them until you're delirious with passion, that's not the time to make that decision. Wait till 3 or 4 months in, you're having a cup of tea together, not knowing what to say to each other. And if you still want to make that decision then. You know, because you're not in an optimal emotional state when you're madly in love. So most of the big decisions we make are made in an emotional state. So we making these decisions for our life, and we're making the decision based on the information we have at that point in time. But let's think, you don't have all the information when you're 13. You don't have all the information when you're 7 or you're 4 or you're 8. You don't have all the information, yet you're still making decisions. And so we think, well, I've made that decision. I've got to live with it. One of the stupidest sayings we have in the English language is, oh, well, you made your bed, you've got to lie in it. Why? It's uncomfortable. Get out, make it again. But we say it. You know, you made your bed, you've got to lie in it. No. You made that decision, you've got to live with it. No. So here's what I'm going to say to you. And this is the blink and delete technique. It's dead simple and it's powerful. And it's my way of upgrading my brain. Whenever you come up with one of those little voices in your head, which says I can't do this. I'm not any good at that. I'm not a good person. I'm useless. I'll never achieve anything. When you hear that negative voice in your head, just ask the question, when did I make that decision? I can't do this. And I promise you this, when you ask the question, you'll immediately go to where you made the decision. You don't need 3 months or 3 years of psychotherapy to get there. You'll immediately go to where you made the decision. And I'll promise you this, many times it'll be before you're 7 years old. Because most of our beliefs, who we are, what we can, what we cannot achieve, were made before we were 7. Just think about that. You'd now have a 5-year-old girl making a lifelong decision about what you're capable of. You wouldn't have a 4-year-old boy making a decision of whether you're any good or not. And yet most of the beliefs we're walking around with were made by a child under 7. So very often when you ask the question, when did I make that decision? I'm not any good. You'll go back to a time before you were 7. And the hard thing is to think, can that possibly be true? Because you'd be looking at yourself at 5 years old or 6 years old or whatever it might be. So you're back there. And then you ask the next question. Now that I've evolved, because you have, you're not the same person you were a year ago. You're definitely not the same person you were 30 years ago. Now that I've evolved, is that decision any longer viable? Or is it an obsolete decision I made in a less informed state? I've seen over 25,000 people who haven't quit smoking. I can count on maybe 2 hands the amount of those 25,000 people who started smoking as an adult. By that I mean their 20s or 30s. The majority of them were 12, 14, 15. I was 11. My brother was 9 when I started smoking. You know, they're 13, 14, 15. I've asked all of those people, if you had the opportunity to go back, would you do it again? No. They're not going to make that decision again. They made it when they were a child. I had a woman came to see me once. She said, I feel really bad. She came to see me to quit smoking. And she was pregnant. And she said, you know, I feel really bad. She said, because I'm an intelligent woman. I know what damage this smoking's doing to my baby. And I feel really bad about it. I said, "Well, you can stop beating yourself up over it." I said, "Because as it happened, she was 13 when she started to smoke." I said, "A 13-year-old girl made the decision to smoke." I said, "You can't beat yourself up for something you decided to do when you were 13." I said, "If when you leave here today and you're free of the smoking habit, which you will be, and then 6 months down the road you decide to smoke again, then give yourself a kicking, because then you'll have made that decision as an adult at the moment you made it as a kid." So to be able to just look at it again, you ask that next question. Now that I've evolved, is that decision any longer viable, or is it an obsolete decision that I made in a less informed state? And if the answer comes back, no, it's no longer viable, blink twice, delete the decision. That's all you have to do. Blink twice, delete that decision. Then you go to neutral. And if you haven't done my TPM thing, I might show you how to do it today, where you can, in any situation, go to neutral emotion. Because in neutral, you can make the right decision. You can take the right actions. You can get the right outcome. If you're going to make any big decisions, bring yourself to neutral before you make that decision. So you blink twice, delete that old decision, and I'll just create a new name for it. Old decisions to go, right? Based on my friend Stephen's whole paint ago. Right, so, and then you blink twice, delete that decision, and then go to neutral and make a new decision. This way, you can keep upgrading your brain as you're going about your day. You're on a bus, a little negative thought comes in. When did I make that decision? I can't do this. Boom. All right, so I was 5 years old. Okay. Now I've evolved. Is that decision any longer viable? No. Blink twice, delete it. Go to neutral, make a new decision. This is how we upgrade our brain. You would not be working on a computer that's running programming from 30 years ago. None of you would. Yet we're running on old programming in our brain. So there's a little technique for you to do that. You've got a self-hypnosis technique now. Now you know the power of emotion. You just, every time someone spikes an emotion, be ready with a positive suggestion for yourself. If you hear a negative voice in your mind, you just go, okay, when did I make that decision? I can't do it. And then delete the old decision, make a new decision, upgrade. This is not complex. You can change your life. You're working with a client. Act as if they have everything they need to overcome the problem. Remember what I said, we may have our doubts. What we must have no doubt about is we can keep our doubts to ourselves. And as I said, I think I've changed the kind of rules in with the medical world, where you're not really allowed to say too much negative stuff to your client, because you're the one least uncertain, and they're likely to follow whatever you say. And if you say it doesn't look good, you know, in that book, and I'd advise you, if you haven't read it, to read it. It's a great book. He's talking about his mother, I think his mother-in-law, who had colon cancer. And the prognosis was really bad for this lady, you know, and probably only a few months, weeks to live. But he said this surgeon walked in, white coat, stethoscope, and he said he just looked at my mother-in-law and he said, "You're a survivor. Let's get on with this." And this was 10 years after, when he was writing this book, and she was still alive. You know, I've said to my clients, you know, I think they're struggling, think they can't get over their problem. I was just looking at them, and it's based purely on that book. I'll say, "You're a survivor. Let's get on with this." And because I'm the one least uncertain in that situation, the chance that they're going to pick that suggestion up, they're going to run with it. And they are going to survive. Because, as I said to you, the power of your mind over your body is immense. And once we understand that, and that everything is suggestion, so ask the question when someone's saying something to you, say, is that positive or not in my life? And if not, say you're not going to listen to it. You don't have to listen to it, take it on board. And it takes you to a place today when we're doing this pain work, to a place of pure unconditional self-love. Because for me, that's the bottom line now in everything I do. Why would you quit smoking if you don't love yourself? Why would you treat yourself to the body you want if you don't love yourself? Why would you do anything that's really good for you if you don't love yourself? You know, in England, we use it as a derogatory term, don't we? Oh, look at her. She loves herself. Look at him. He loves himself. We should be saying, how incredible. She loves herself. How wonderful. He loves himself. Samantha's got a thumb up. So I'm being talking to Samantha and getting her to love herself. She's worth loving anyway. You know, so, you know, to encourage your clients to feel that and want that for yourself. So I'm going to take you to that space today. And I want you to know you're worthy of it. And you'll have a different understanding about who we are and what we are. We tend to think that we are our bodies. You know, we think that's who we are, kind of identify with our bodies. And when you realize that you're not your body, you're not even your name because that was given to you, then you start to realize that you're beyond your body. And then you can look at things that happen to your body in a different way. And you may, you know, and I'd suggest you look at your body um, with real gratitude and appreciation. Because your body is, let's face it, it's the most incredible creation in this whole universe that we know of. No, in the cosmos that we know of, there's nothing else like you. There's no other creation in the cosmos that can create music or write a story or love or feel love. To our knowledge, there's nothing. You think about it. You can point in um, any direction, and for thousands of light years, there is no one else like you. Now start to think about that. Think about how incredible you are. And then look at your body in a different way and go, right, you know, I'm so lucky to have this body that enables me to feel love, experience life. Make a decision to look after it. And if you have an unconditional love, why would you feed that body anything that's not good for it? Why would you do anything to that body that's not good to it? So it's not about, oh, I love myself. It's about wanting for yourself what you want for the person you love, what you want for your child, what you want for your partner. That's the kind of unconditional love I'm talking about. And I'm going to take you to that space today. And any useless, unnecessary pain you've got, whether it's physical or emotional, is going to be gone. Who's got pain at the moment of any kind? You don't have to tell me what it is.
Me. Sorry. Am I? It's Mary. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mary.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry. I was afraid to press anything to get a photo in case I lost you altogether. Um,
that's what all the girls say.
yeah. No, I've got pain, constant pain at the moment with post polio syndrome. I was paralysed from the neck down when I was 4,
Right?
and it took me a year to walk again, and then I dragged a leg and had weakness in my feet, but lived a perfectly normal life. But I'm 82 now, and in the last about 5 years, I've started to have difficulty walking and getting a lot of pain in my back and my legs. And apparently, this is post polio syndrome. It's where polio's killed off all the, or not all of them, but killed off motor neuron cells in the spine. And the remaining motor neuron cells try to replace the missing ones, but they wear out eventually. And so it's actually a relatively newly found condition, post polio syndrome, about 10 years ago, I suppose. And I do find it quite tricky. I am on opiates. I try to stop them occasionally just to prove I'm not addicted to opiates
Mm,
because I don't want to be addicted to anything. I want to be in
right.
control of my body.
Well,
Um,
let me ask you a question then.
yes, yes,
Is that pain serving you in any way? In other words, in a few minutes from now, when you're free of that pain completely,
yes.
will that be detrimental to you in any way at all?
No, no
Right.
sleep.
Well, in
Great.
a while, my full expectation, Mary, is that you won't be able
Yes.
to feel any of that pain,
Well, that's wonderful. Yes.
providing that pain is useless and unnecessary. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
You know, as I said to you, our bodies are geared to thrive. Given the opportunity, it's going to do that. And if that
Yeah.
pain has outlived its purpose, which it obviously has,
Yes.
then expect to be free of it. So I
Oh,
want
that's
all of you to
wonderful.
do this. If you're
Yeah.
suffering any kind of pain, and I'm talking about physical or emotional, so
Mm.
whether that pain's heartache, whether it's physical pain, whatever that might be, I want you to. There's two things I symptom scale. One's pain and one is fear. And the reason I
Mm.
symptom scale those two things is because we can remember being in pain, but once the pain's gone, it's really hard to remember what it felt like.
Mm.
I say that's why women have more than one child. Remember what the first one felt like. They go, "No, I'm
Yes.
stopping now, right?" So we can forget about pain. We have that wonderful ability to forget about the pain. It's the same with fear. Once the fear's gone, very difficult to remember. Oh, I remember I used to be frightened of that, but I can't feel it now. So I'm going to ask you all on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being excruciating and 0 being no pain at all. I want you to just put in the chat box the number from 1 to 10 of how much pain you're in at the moment.
Mm.
Okay, we've got sixes and sevens, threes and fours. Okay, because in a moment you won't be able to feel that. Okay, if that pain, and I'm going to ask you all the questions as well. And it's important. You know, if you've all been to your doctor and the doctor's checked you over, and the doctor has said to you, "This pain is chronic. It's you're just going to be painkillers for it." Yeah. If that's the situation, then we're going to deal with it. But please don't say, "Okay, well, I've got a pain in my stomach for 3 weeks, but I'm gonna sit with Freddie and it's going to go," unless you've had it checked out. Is that a deal with everybody? Yeah. Okay. So this is what's going to happen. In a moment, I'm going to take you into hypnosis, and you're going to love it. It's just a suggestion. I'm just a hypnotist, but you're going to love it. And then while you're in that state of hypnosis, I'm going to do a couple of things here. One, I'm going to run what I call quantum healing. Woo! Quantum healing. I'm going to run some quantum healing. And it's based on the premise that every cell in our body exists as an individual cell. And there's something like 70 trillion cells, apparently. I haven't counted them, but I've been told there's 70 trillion cells. And all that makes us what we are, the unique individual that you are on a planet of 8 billion people, just think about how unique you are. There's no one else like you on this planet. It's never been and never will be. All that makes you what you are, hair color, eye color, skin color, height, is a unique communication between those 70 trillion cells in your body. Now, when those cells are communicating perfectly, you are in perfect health. But sometimes through environment, through emotion, through trauma, through genetics, there's a breakdown in that communication. And when there's a breakdown in the communication, you get a dis-ease in your body. Does that kind of make sense to everybody? What hypnosis enables the operator, the hypnotist, the hypnotherapist to do, it enables us to communicate, believe this or not, directly with every cell, every molecule, every atom, every neuron of your body and mind. Well, it's not me that's going to communicate, it's you that's going to communicate. And but through my voice, I'm going to ask those cells to reconnect the communication that will allow any healing to take place. And I'm not promising anything, right? Because I'm miles away from you. I hope, anyway. I hope someone's not sitting outside my door waiting for me. So I'm not giving you any pills or potions. You're going to do this. We know we have an automatic healing ability, incredible healing ability. And all we're going to do is tune it up, get your body to make whatever adjustments that will allow that healing to begin. Okay. And we'll see what happens. But I'm not promising you anything because I can't. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run quantum healing. I'm going to take you through what I call the arrow technique to eliminate any pain, physical or emotional. What was the other thing I said I was going to do for you all? There was one other thing, wasn't there? While you're in hypnosis. Oh, take you into a state of total unconditional self-love. Before we finish here today, you're all going to love yourselves. That's right. That's right, Dan. Hard to believe, I know. Yeah, you're going to love yourself. All right, okay. So who's ready to go into hypnosis and ready to lose your pain and feel into it? Okay, good. All right. So look, all you have to do is absolutely nothing. You can listen to me if you want, but I don't mean this rudely. I'm not interested in your conscious mind. This is an unconscious process that's running. And your unconscious mind will hear everything I've got to say. It will take from it what's needed for you, free yourself forever from the pain, from any limitations. So I need you to get comfortable. I want you to be in a safe place. So make sure you're not sitting on a window ledge 10 stories up with a boiling hot cup of coffee in your lap or something, because I'm not taking any kind of blame for any of that stuff. Make sure you're in a comfortable seat and you can be undisturbed for a while. Tracy's disappeared. I think I might have frightened her off with the hot cup of coffee stuff. Oh, she's back. That's good. All right. Okay. Right. So are you ready to free yourself forever from the pain you've been suffering? What I'd like you to do is this. Just take a breath in, hold it for a moment. As you breathe out, like sigh, like it's just end of the day. Just let it go. Let go of any tension. That's right. And I'd like you just to focus on those tiny little muscles around your eyes. That's right, Marie. That's right. Gabor, you can just allow your eyes to close. And just focus on those tiny muscles around your eyes. And relax those muscles completely. Get a sense of that happening as you listen to my voice. Imagine that every word I say relaxes those muscles more and more. Relaxing so completely it just won't work for a while. Once again, think about the people you love, people that love you. See those faces, see those smiles, people you've helped with your love, your kindness, your skills. And as you feel that love, notice that your eyes have relaxed so completely now they just won't work. And when you realize your eyes are so relaxed they just won't work for a while, you can test them, find it completely locked. That's right. Now, nothing bothers or affects you, nothing disturbs you. I'm going to say the word love, and as you hear that word, that feeling of relaxation around your eyes will just flow down through your body like a bliss anesthesia. Every muscle, nerve, and fiber relaxing. But no matter how relaxed your body and mind become, the chair will support you. So get ready. As you hear that word, that feeling of relaxation is going to flood down through your body. Love. Get a sense of that happening. Every muscle, nerve, and fiber relaxing. Becoming less and less aware of yourself as a physical being, but totally aware of yourself as mind. Just dropping down through space and time. With the eyes closed, it becomes easier to become more and more aware of a variety of things that you may have overlooked before. Love, kindness, freedom. That gradual letting go. Letting go even of the effort it takes to be aware of exactly where the arms are positioned, or the hands or fingers. And even the effort it takes to be aware of which leg seems to relax more quickly or completely than the other may seem to be too much effort to bother making. As you continue to learn, even more than before, about your abilities, your capacities to learn as you relax. And the mind drifts down toward a place of quietness. Place of peaceful inner awareness. A place that almost seems to give off signals that directs awareness down toward it, into it. more and more comfortably, more and more effortlessly, more and more completely and deeply than before. Or even the effort it takes to be aware of the sound of my voice or the meaning of my words may almost seem to be too much effort to bother making. It's so much easier simply to relax and enjoy that letting go, allowing events to occur in your own time, in your own way, drifting down, deeper, deeper, deeper down. Get a sense of that happening, just dropping down through space and time. Imagine there's nothing you can do about that. And as you drift in that beautiful space, my voice, my words will drift with you, become a part of your experience now. Just when you think you've reached that ultimate space of bliss and inner peace, quietness, that profound state of hypnosis, just when you think you've reached the ultimate level, my voice, my words will take you 10 times deeper. Get a sense of that happening automatically. I want you to enjoy every moment. Every word I say now doubles that feeling. Everything I say now is your reality. Every suggestion I give you, your mind and body will act upon at a molecular, cellular, neurological level. It's now your reality. You have a conscious mind and an unconscious mind. And that unconscious mind, the back of the mind, can continue to hear, understand, and respond. That part of you that runs that automatic healing ability, that monitors your heartbeat, your blood pressure, that beats the heart, that breathes the breath, can continue to hear, understand, and respond to those things I might say without the need for you to do anything at all. It's so much easier for the conscious mind simply to relax and enjoy that letting go. That's right. Letting go even of the effort it takes to make the effort that it might take. To tell the exact position of arms, legs, or the entire body now that seems to drift through time and space. That wonderful free floating place of effortless relaxation and letting go. Allowing events to occur in their own time, in their own ways. You drift as a mind. And that mind drifts without boundaries, without borders, without limits. Allow yourself the pleasure going out into the future. It's later today, it's tomorrow, it's a week. And you're free of every ounce of useless, unnecessary physical and emotional pain. You're waking up in the morning energized. You're going about your day with a new stamina, an absolute understanding of just how incredible you are. And notice the way you move and the way you breathe. Step into that body, feel into it, get a sense of how good it feels to be free. And ask this question: how much fun is it to be free of every ounce of useless pain? How much fun can you make it? How important is it for you? Because now you know how good you're going to feel. Everything about your nature, your mind and body is inclined toward making it happen. You are geared to thrive. You are the most incredible creation. And the unconscious mind can allow those changes to occur at a molecular, cellular, neurological level, while the conscious mind drifts off someplace else entirely now. It's right in your own time, in your own way. Aware of events that occur along the way. As the unconscious mind protects the conscious mind, takes you even deeper. 10, 20, 100 times deeper than before. And I can wonder whether you're aware that you've drifted deeply into hypnosis. The deeper you go, the better you're going to feel. And as you drift even deeper, you can use your unconscious mind and that instinctive, automatic healing ability. And all that's needed to build a good rapport with the unconscious is to have a line of communication. And sometimes the unconscious communicates by movement. And it may be that the eye reflex changes and the eyes flicker. That's right, or the head moves slightly, or a muscle twitches involuntarily. It may be that the left hand starts to feel lighter and lighter, starts to drift up as the eyes flicker and the head moves, or the right arm goes even higher. Only the unconscious mind knows which you'll use, because the unconscious mind knows more about you than anyone else. And so as you drift even deeper into hypnosis, I'd like your unconscious mind. Search through all the things in your life and pick one thing that is of vital and utmost importance to your mobility, your happiness, your freedom, your comfort, something you'd love to be free of, something that no longer serves you or suits you. And when the unconscious mind's made that choice, I'd like it to allow you to know by allowing that honest unconscious signal to occur. That's right, you'll know before I do as you become aware of certain sensations changing in your body. One thing you'd love to be free of, something that's of vital and utmost importance to your mobility, your freedom, your happiness. That's right, head nodding, eyes flickering, hands lighter and lighter. And as you drift even deeper, the mind automatically moves toward those thoughts and ideas and images that clarify most clearly for you the very things you know and do that seem to get in the way of your perfect health and happiness. Awareness migrates toward things that need attention in the same way that animals migrate without thinking, without trying. They just seem to know when to go, where to go, what to do to take care of themselves. An inner voice, an inner awareness that moves the birds, the animals from place to place, that makes them restless, something not right, draws their attention toward that uncomfortable feeling, sets them in motion, and they move hundreds of miles, thousands of miles, taking care of their young, taking care of themselves. No one knows how it feels to be a bird, a dolphin, a lion, a bear that suddenly knows the time's right for a change, suddenly knows the exact change needed. But we can relax. Imagine how it might feel to gradually or suddenly recognize that feeling. Something needs to change, it needs to change now. And to know without knowing what needs to be done, to be told without hearing by that inner voice, do this now. To have actions flow from those feelings. Now I'd like your unconscious mind to allow me to communicate directly with that part of you that runs your immune system, the part of you that runs that automatic healing ability. It's been doing that for you from the moment you were conceived. And I'd like to ask that part that runs the immune system if it would be, if I'd be allowed to speak directly to every cell of your being, every molecule, every atom, every neuron. And if it's willing to allow me that communication, I'd like it to increase that signal so that you understand that your unconscious mind has given me permission to communicate directly with every cell of your body. And as you become aware of certain sensations, that's right. Now I'd like to ask those cells to reconnect the communication that will allow any healing in your body to begin, and to do it now, to spin up that healing, make whatever adjustments at a molecular, cellular, hormonal level that will allow you to be well. And you may become aware of certain sensations in your body, like a warm glow going through your body into every cell, every fiber. Get a sense of that now. And as that healing continues, I want you to have the most incredible experience of liberation and freedom. Because in a moment, the essence of who you are, that intangible part of a human being, the passenger, the observer, some call it the higher self, some call it the spirit, the soul. I call it the essence. It's going to separate out through the top of your head and leave your body in that chair for a while. And it will be the most incredible thing of liberation. Get a sense of that happening, the essence of who you are, drifting up out through the top of your head and leaving your body in that chair. And as you drift away from your body, I want you to look at that body. I want you to look back at that body and show it some appreciation. How incredible is your body? It is the most incredible creation. For a moment, just think about your feet. How incredible are your feet? How many miles have you traveled? How many people have you met? How many places have you been because of your feet? Just for a moment, we tend to forget about our feet. Think about it. Just show them some appreciation. About your hands. How many people have you held in your arms and your hands? How much love have you felt through your hands? How many things have your hands enabled you to do? How incredible are your hands? How incredible are you? And make a decision as you look at that incredible body in that chair. Look after that body. Love that body. No, it's okay to love that body. You are unique. You are incredible. But as you drift away from your body, I want you to notice that the essence of who you are is ageless. And nothing that happens to that body in that chair can ever touch you. The essence of who you are is ageless. It's infinite. It has no edge. And I want you to notice now that the essence of who you are is pure energy, pure intelligence, light and love. That's who you are. You are pure intelligence, pure energy, light and love. And anything that is not that is not you. Get a sense of that now. Get a sense of drifting even further away from your body, leaving your body in that chair, drifting up out of that building you're in, drifting up into the sky like a helium balloon that some young girl has let go of in the park. Get a sense of just drifting higher and higher. How incredible are you? Leaving all earthly ties behind, drifting so high that you can actually look back at this beautiful planet we're living on. Get a sense of that beautiful blue planet spinning through space and time. The whites of the clouds and the mountaintops, greens of the forest, the browns of the desert, the blue of the ocean. How incredible is this beautiful planet we're living on? And notice as you look at the planet from way off, how your perspective changes. You may think about the 8 billion people on that planet, of which you are one unique, incredible individual, because you are. Notice how your perspective changes. Things that had seemed overwhelming no longer have any power over you. Things that had seemed hard or difficult to overcome no longer have any power over you at all. And I want you to turn away from the planet, look out into the cosmos, and notice how any concerns you had, any doubts you had, any concerns, worries, anxiety you had disappear when you look at it in terms of eternity. Notice how small and insignificant those worries and anxieties are when you look at them in terms of eternity. Turn back towards that beautiful blue planet. And in your mind's eye, get a sense of a target, like an archery target between you and that planet, or a spinning vortex of lights. Get a sense of that in your mind's eye. Now, in the center of that target is every ounce of useless, unnecessary physical and emotional pain that was ever placed on you, that no longer serves you. In the center of that target is every ounce of useless, unnecessary physical or emotional pain. In a moment, I'm going to make this sound. Whoosh. As I make that sound, you're going to be fired, shot like an arrow, straight through that target, straight into that spinning vortex of light. And as you go through that target, I want you to be brave. Because as you go through that target, you may experience that pain even more intensely for a split second, a microsecond, but be brave. This is the last time it's ever going to affect you. So get ready. You're going to go through that target, and every ounce of useless pain is going to be wiped from your mind and body, and you're going to enter a space of total unconditional self-love. And I want you to know that you're worthy of that love because you are love, and you are loved, and you are loving. Get ready as you hear that sound. This is the last time it's ever going to affect you, so be brave. And now you're in that space, just drifting in that space of unconditional self-love. Feel it flooding through your body, your heart expanding with that feeling of unconditional self-love. You are love, and you are loved, and you are loving. And notice as you feel that love, every ounce of useless pain has gone from your mind and body. You cannot feel it, you cannot experience it. Now get a sense to drifting across the other side of that room you're in. So you can see yourself sitting in that chair. You see the clothes you're wearing, you can hear my voice. Notice as you watch yourself from the other side of the room, how every ounce of pain, physical and emotional, has gone from your body and mind. You cannot feel it, you cannot experience it. I'd like your unconscious mind to make those changes now at a molecular, cellular, neurological level that will allow you that freedom forever. And only when the unconscious mind knows and has made the changes and allows the conscious mind accept the changes made, only then will you drift back over to your body, drop back into your body in that chair, unable to experience any pain, and go even deeper into hypnosis. Only as quickly as the unconscious mind knows and has made the changes at a molecular, cellular, neurological level and allows the conscious mind accept the changes made. Only then will you be able to drift back over to your body, drop back into that incredible body in that chair and go even deeper into hypnosis. That's right. And as you drift even deeper now, 10, 20, 100 times deeper, I'd like that part that runs the immune system. Spin up that healing process. You may become aware of those sensations and feel that feeling of unconditional self-love flooding through your body like a healing golden fluid. Get a sense of it now. You are love, you are loved, and you are loving. Get a sense of that now. Go over your unconscious often as you need to know that you're free. Free of the useless, unnecessary pain. Free to be. And it may be interesting for you to know that in that relaxed, drifting state of mind, where thoughts drift by like dreams, some enter the mind, some drift through the mind, and some are left behind to be used later on. Others are remembered or seem to be remembered at first, but then become more and more distant, forgotten over time. As the unconscious mind protects the conscious mind, leaves those things behind, forgotten, but remembered too. So it's your privilege. Use this experience. Think about the things you can do. Strengths, abilities, skills, the love you may have overlooked before that will allow you a clear view of the possibilities of a new way of living, a new way of being. Take that time now, a brief time, seems to be a long time. Once again, allow yourself the pleasure. Go out there into the future. It's a minute from now. It's an hour from now. You're living your life free of that pain, unable to experience it. You know, it's easy to forget. We put our keys down sometimes. We forget where we put them. It's easy to forget. And you will forget to remember to think about that pain. I don't know, it'll be a minute from now, an hour from now, maybe 20 years from now, when you suddenly realize you've been thinking about something else entirely. And every ounce of useless, unnecessary pain disappeared right here, right now, replaced by the most incredible feeling of unconditional self-love. How incredible are you? You are love, you are loved, and you are loving. How incredible are you? Go with your unconscious often as you need to know that you're free. Only when the unconscious mind knows and has made the changes and allows the conscious mind to accept the changes made. Because in a moment I'm going to count to 10. And every suggestion I've given you, your mind and body will act upon. On 8, your eyes will open. You will feel incredible because you are incredible. And on 10, that wonderful feeling of freedom from every ounce of useless pain, that wonderful feeling of unconditional self-love is going to grow stronger day by day. As you get back to full well-being, free of every limitation. So get ready. 1, being wonderful. 2, to create the life you want and do it free of the useless pain. 3, a feeling of freedom from every limitation that was ever placed on you. 4, feel a force of that energy and unconditional love flooding through your mind and body. 5, feeling incredibly alive now. 6, 7, 8, eyes opening, feeling absolutely wonderful. 9, 10. Hello, Anne. Alifa, still in the land of dreams. Hello, Alifa. Back. Excellent. All right. Look, I hope you enjoyed the experience. I want you to do this now. Try and feel that pain and find you cannot. On a scale of 1 to 10, where's the pain gone now? Put that number in the chat box. Put those zeros in the chat box. That's right. You can look for it, Stephen. You won't find it. That's right. On a scale, that's right. Put those, try and, that's right. There's the zeros. Zeros, I like the zeros. Step through the zeros into that space of unconditional self-love. But look, I hope you enjoyed the experience. There's nothing, and I'm going to say this now, there's nothing I can do that any of you cannot do. I know, I know I seem like a magical wizard, but I'm not. There's another one here. Stephen's here. I'm not. He's even got the beard. He's even got the wizard's beard, which I'm tempted to grow, but there's nothing I can do that you cannot do. Think about what we said today about any decisions that are still limiting you. Think about any time when your emotions changed, and you give yourself a suggestion. I want this for all of you. Next week, Wednesday, I'm having open heart surgery. They're giving me a upgrade. So you think I'm now, wait till you see me next week with my new heart. It's going to be incredible. So, if I don't see you for a couple of weeks, but I think I'm booked. We're going to have another one of these end of each month. Amanda, who's at the college, talked me into it. Freddy's Free Friday therapy at 4. It's going to be back. All right. Lovely to see you all. Great to see you, Dan. It's really good to see you, Dan. Always is. Good to see you, Marie and Debor, all of you. And I hope everything's great with you, Stephen. And keep up the great work, mate. All right. Are there any questions before I go? Other than
yes, take care of yourself, Freddie.
I always do.
No, but don't rush to get back. You know what you're like. Your son has asked me to imprint this on you.
Oh, is he? All right. Okay. Yeah. He just doesn't want me back. It's not like he's just trying to recruit people to keep me away.
You know that's not true.
Anyway, I will be back. I'll be back with a new, ready to go, new upgrade.
Just rest a bit, yeah. Please.
So, but thanks all for being here today. It's lovely to see you all.
And thank you, Freddie.
Great to see you, Blaine. All right, I'll see you all soon. Take care.
Good weekend, everyone.
Thank you so much, Freddie.
Remember, you are love, you are loved, and you are loving. And the essence of who you are is pure energy, pure intelligence, light, and love. Never forget it. And it's not that, it's not you. All right, take care. See you soon.
Bye.
We love you.
Bye. Better soon.
Take care.
Bye.